So let's go ahead and we're going to do two things in this video. It might be a longer video, but what I want to do is two things. One, we want to create a favicon using Favicon IO, which, what is a favicon? Okay, so if we look up here, this little icon next to the title in the web tab, that's a favicon. All right, that's here, that's Canvas favicon. If we go to the membership answer man, I have my favicon in there as well. If you're doing your website, your membership site on Kajabi or Podia, and you don't put in a favicon, then Podia or Kajabi's favicon shows up instead. So it might be learn how to play guitar with me.com, and that, you know, that might be your membership, but because you don't have the favicon, it's going to show either Kajabi's if your site's on Kajabi, or Podia if your site's on Podia, or, you know, whichever. If it's, you know, a WordPress site, it'll have the default WordPress favicon up here. So for branding stuff, it doesn't hurt to just pop in a favicon and make sure that people are aware, hey, this is you, and keep your brand consistent. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go in here, and first thing you want to do is I'm looking at favicon.io right now, and you want to go to the converter option, and here you're just going to drag and drop your file, which we're going to create in Canva, to the converter. And then what it's going to do is it's going to create all these files that you can use for placing on your site for the favicon. The installation here notes for us, if you're using Kajabi or if you're using Podia, you're not going to need these. You're just going to download the file, and you're going to take this favicon.io or one of these PNG files, and you're going to load it up into the appropriate spot in your settings on your Kajabi or Podia site. So these would come into play if you've got a WordPress site. Then you're going to want to put this into the HTML text for your WordPress or Wix or whichever, you know, type of site you're using. If you're using something other than, you know, Podia or Kajabi or one of the other membership platforms. So installation is not going to be a big deal here as far as these notes here. What we're looking at here is just getting you the converter. But first we have to have some kind of a file. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Okay, so I'm now logged into Canva. What I'm going to do is create a design. Now, if we go back and look, these favicon files that it spits out, you know, these are the files that we're going to actually download once we've created the favicon by going over here and downloading it. These are the files that it spits out. If you'll notice, these are all squares. So 32 by 32, 16 by 16. So based on this 512 by 512, let's just go ahead, and these are pretty big. These are pretty big files, actually. I'm kind of surprised. Let's go ahead and just do a 512 by 512, and that should be fine. We're going to go do create design up here, top left right hand corner, go all the way down to this option here for custom size. Click on custom size. These are the sizes I use here for each of my blog posts, and these are all the recent sizes. So we're going to do 512 by 512 and create new design. All right, so one of the people in my community actually was asking about this. So her site's focused on helping women clean homes and shares tips and tricks on cleaning. And so let's do this for Jen in my community. We're going to do something like cleaning and just see. We're going to go to images. And let's try that again. Cleaning. Let's just see what comes up. So on anything that's not a pro, I'm not a pro account. Again, I don't need to get too crazy with this. That's kind of cool, but that's pro. I like that a lot. And keep in mind, this is going to be a kind of a logo. So like I have a main logo for my site, and then what I created is a square version of that. You don't necessarily want a photo for a favicon. You could try and see what it looks like, but typically you want something that's more kind of a logo-ish type look. So based on that, I want to get away from these fancy actual photos. Let's see if there's some GIFs or something like that. Heart, square, clip art type of thing. That works. Let's do this. Okay, so that's kind of cool. I got some graphics that we could use. That's kind of cool. Let's just use this and see what happens. And you know what I'm going to do is That's got a blue background. Backgrounds sometimes help too. You know, those are blue backgrounds. I think what I will do, go to elements. I'm going to put a square element in there. I'm going to put a background color. We're going to position that. Going to click on position. We're going to put that backward. Okay, so it's behind the image of the woman cleaning. Going to drag it to fill it. And it doesn't matter if it goes over. I'm just using it for fill. If we want to be obsessive compulsive, we could like drag it and make it, you know, almost. But again, it doesn't matter. We're using it to fill as a fill. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to click on the image again and want to make that nice and big. I want that kind of take up the favicon. Now, the other thing that I've kind of learned when I'm creating favicons is you don't want to, you know, I try to fill up the whole square, but it also helps to kind of just make sure that I'm putting that in the middle. And then, is there a middle there? And then, there we go, right there. Okay, so there. And then, let's go back to the color. And what color do we want to make it? Kind of wonder, do we want to make it an actual... That's kind of cool. Let's do this. I'm going to do transparency and just drop that transparency down a little bit. What that's going to do is just lighten that blue up. And this is not going to be perfect. We're just doing this just to kind of show you how to start off. Okay, so let's just say that's our favicon for our cleaning business, or that's part of our logo for our cleaning business. Let's just say that. So you take a component from your logo, something, you know, again, keeping your branding consistent, and you know, something that's going to make sense that you can create into this square, very small favicon. It doesn't have to be anything real super fancy, and it doesn't have to be exactly like your logo, but if you use the same components, same color or scheme, thing like that, you know, when you're doing it, that's going to be important. So we're just going to play with that. And now we're going to go over here to, I'm going to actually rename this Favicon. And I'm going to call it Master. And 512 pix by 512 pix. Okay, that way when I go in, I know, I can see it and know exactly what it is. File, how big it is and everything. Download. And if we go back, I'm pretty sure it said we could do a PNG. Or did it? It didn't say. But I don't think it matters. We'll just do a PNG. And we're going to click on, that's suggested already. We're going to click on download. It's already downloaded. There it is. So we're going to go back over here now to our Favicon generator. I'm going to open in the folder. I'm going to minimize that. I'm just going to drag that on over. Download. So there's our zipped file. We'll go ahead and open that up. These are all of the zipped files. What we want to do is unzip this whole file so we can get to it. Go up here, right click, and extract all. That's fine. It's just going to extract it to the downloads folder. I could put it into my main membership site folder if I wanted to. For what we're doing here, downloads is fine. Extract, and then new file is going to show up here. Yeah, it already did. There's the new file right there. Okay, so these are each of the files it's talking about here. More than likely, this one right here is the one that we're going to load up into the Podia or your Kajabi site. In my case, it's going to be Podia, and so now that that's generated, we'll minimize that and we'll open up the Podia site. We'll go to podia.com so we can log into our actual site. Log in. Okay, so after asking, it asked me for a verification code, which it emailed me. I put in the code and now I'm in. So let me go here and just do a quick edit site, and then we're going to go to the settings down here and see right here, there's the Favicon. Okay, so that's my Favicon. So if you go into settings, like we just saw, go down, I'll scroll all the way down to site settings, and in there is your Favicon, and you would just click on that to upload the file that you had. Then we just created a file, you can click on it and upload it. You know, matter of fact, let's do this. Favicon.ico. We're going to exit out of that. We're going to drag that file. So these are the ones that I had. We're going to go to downloads. We're going to download that file. We're just going to see what it looks like. Downloads. Favicon. Favicon.io. That one right here. Open. Just going to upload it. Now, before I click on publish, what I want to show you is what my Favicon looks like currently. So there it is. Oh, it already pulled it up. Interesting. It pulled it up. So you saw it change. So there it is. That's the one that we just created. You can tell you can barely see it. So that's the other thing. You got to keep in mind you're not going to really see it. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, here they're just using a letter, and Podia they're just using a letter. So you could just use a letter if you wanted to. So let's go back. And let's exit out of that and put in my other one, my original one, and just see the difference there. So it was going to go up again. Yeah, it's not going to take me to it, but I have it in my frequently accessed list. Or is it? No, that's in Camtasia. Website images, we'll go there. Yeah. And I have a Favicon in here. I thought, there it is right here, Favicon Master. And then Favicon IO. There it is. See, these are all the files that Favicon.io gave to me. And Favicon.io is what we want. Open. And we'll go over here. We'll refresh. And now my image is back. So that's how you create an image in Canva. And again, I just went ahead and just did the biggest size, 512 by 512. Once you've got it created, again, realizing that it's going to be very small, and so, you know, kind of the factory, not the fact, kind of the standard that people are doing for other companies is just putting the first letter. So I don't know if I'd want just the, I guess I could have a big old M. I could do membership answer man. I could do man or ma'am, M-A-M. But I just kept the logo with the 3 people here. It was still pretty visible, so I thought, hey, that'll work. So that's what I did. And then that's how you upload it to Podia. And I also did a video on how to upload a Favicon to Kajabi that's also in the YouTube channel.